Good morning, wherever you are on the planet. Give me 1 second, y'all. Oh, here we go. And all right, so let's begin. Welcome to the free astrotheology course. I am Dr. Yasapa, for those of y'all who don't know. Give me 1 second. Those of y'all who may be new, may not have heard of me, whatever. So welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Give me 1 second. I had a very difficult time again getting on. But I think that's something that I just have to accept. I think it's just going to be that way. Anyway, so I have about an hour, actually, and not even that. I have about 50 minutes. All right, y'all? So let's get started. Yesterday, at the end of class, YouTube ended the live stream. I don't know how, but we were talking about the fact that there is no such person as Satan. That this Satan character is made up. It's a remix of natural phenomena, particularly the winter solstice. And I was talking about how they combined two words, evil and darkness, took the D off of darkness and put it on evil, and you get devil, okay? That's not a person. That's literary art, all right? They played you. And then they build this whole thing around astrology is Satan worship, devil worship. Okay? So if you come to understand that there is no Satan, there is no devil, then when you hear an expression like astrology is Satan or devil worship, you see right through it. Okay? Can you okay, so it doesn't have any psychological effect on you. Why? Because you're educated. You up on the game. Okay, you're up on the game. And everybody else who's not up on the game, they're going to be stressed out. They're going to be looking over their shoulder. All right? They're going to be thinking twice and 3 times. Oh, shoot. Am I? Can you just off? You're off. Come on. Thank you. I was cold, y'all. All right? So this whole notion of the devil has a lot of people messed up. Okay? A lot of people messed up. And y'all know that a lot of people govern their lives. They make decisions based off of these superstitions. But anyway, let's not deal with that any further. But I just wanted to let y'all know that it's very strange. It's very, very strange that as soon as I got on that topic, my live stream ends. Radicals writes, peace, brother. How have you been? You sound under the weather, been busy. I subscribe to your Patreon. Thanks, Radical, I appreciate that. Yeah, I was assigned to a new school, and all of the students are sick. And I got sick. I'm sitting under air conditioning when I'm teaching, and my body doesn't like air conditioning. I get upper respiratory symptoms. But sometimes I wonder if it's 5G. Sometimes I wonder if it's 5G. Y'all know 5G gives you flu-like symptoms, right? At least that's what I've read. But thanks for being concerned, radicals, and thanks for your support. I'm going to get that video up. I'm going to work on it today. In fact, if you want, you can be a part of the video. Just reach out to me, Yasapa at zionlawschool.org. Yasapa, Y-A-S-A-P-A, at zionlawschool.org. But anyway, let's continue. Radicals write, AC, artificial air, take black castor oil. Oh yeah? All right. I'm gonna try to get it. Black castor oil. Black castor oil. I got regular castor oil at the house. You know, I didn't even think to use it. Thanks, I appreciate that. All right, so where are we, y'all? Okay, let's get back into it. Radicals right, Jamaican black castor oil is the best. I'm gonna try to find it, man. Y'all know I'm in Vietnam. Okay, so here we go. Let's get back into this ephod. All right? So ephod or apron, I'm on page 102. Ephod or apron, or radic or zodiacal horoscope. Horoscope is actually horoscope. For divining purposes. So divine, I know the Hebrew Israelites are, divining devil and all, but we just went through devil. There is no devil. Okay? Anyway, let's continue. And I suggest that everyone make it a habit of looking up these keywords in more than one language. All right? It says, see 1 Samuel XXIII 6, see 1 Samuel 23 verse 6, quote unquote. And it came to pass when Abiathar, the son of Ahimelech, fled to David in Keilah, that he came down with an ephod in his hand. So why would he go to David? Why would he run to David with the zodiacal horoscope for divining? Why? Okay, as we discussed last class, it is for science. Okay? Harnessing cosmic energy, harnessing the power to use magnetism for whatever purpose you desire. 9. And David knew that Saul secretly practiced mischief against him. Okay, well, y'all, wait a minute. So Saul has gone bad, right? In other words, he's doing things to hurt David behind his back, smiling in his face and stabbing him in the back. We know a lot of people like that, right? And he said to Abiathar the priest. So the priest, who is a seer, who is now a medium. Now y'all remember, the prophet is a seer. Why does this seer, priest rather, have an ephod for zodiacal usage, or for harnessing and using the natural energy called magnetism? But more than that, why would your religious leaders tell you that magnetism is devil worship? Why would they do that? What's their motive? That's like telling you that chemistry is of the devil, or that physiology is of the devil. Why would they do that? Other than to keep you ignorant and superstitious. All right? Bring hither the ephod. Bring hither the laptop. Bring the laptop. Okay? Show me the algorithm. If they don't want you to have it, it means they want you to be what? Powerless. They want you to be ignorant. That's what's happening here. Then Abiathar, by means of the ephod, gives David an answer to his inquiry. So a scientific. So he used the ephod to come up with the scientific answer to David's question. But don't say it's not science because you don't understand that science, or this is a new science to you. I bet you if you enroll in a material science course, you're going to be introduced to a lot of concepts, a lot about nature that you never knew. And you're not going to say, oh, this is of the devil. They're talking about how electricity works. They're talking about how magnetism works. This is of the devil. But yet you're using that cell phone, right? You're saving files on your hard drive. You're saving files in the cloud. All of this stuff uses magnetism. Huh? Do y'all realize how profoundly you have been misguided and misled? How do we know if we're going north? A compass works by magnetism. Electricity is magnetism, works by magnetism. And your religious leaders, the religious institutions, have taught you that magnetism, electromagnetism, is devil worship. They repackaged it, created fictional characters that ain't real, a whole story, and got you to believe it. And now you're living your life inside of that story, narrative transportation. And a lot of y'all will argue or even be angry at me because of what I'm talking about. Now let's continue. Then Abiathar, by means of the ephod, gives David an answer to his inquiry. And today, y'all know what that would be? That would mean you do, let's say you have a product. You want to sell it. You go out, you do market research. You do a competitive analysis, the whole 9 yards. And then you come up with action steps or recommendations of what you or the company should do, a plan. And your rationale for the plan, right? And then someone comes along and tells you that's of the devil. That analysis is of the devil. That's Satanism. That's Satanism. That's devil worship. All Abiathar did was use his knowledge of astronomy, of magnetism, to answer David's question. Period. Okay? Let's continue. Portending evil to David if he stayed in the place. And David thus warned, quote unquote, from the Lord, flees. All right? So, David was warned, using science. Remember, in this case, the Lord is science, magnetism. Okay? So he's able to look at the heavenly bodies and understand what they mean. How could he do that? Through thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of years of our ancestors observing the configuration of the heavenly bodies and their impact on man's affairs through study and observation. And they found patterns. And that knowledge and that information was passed from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Y'all know what this sounds like, right? What does it sound like? It's no different than AI. It's no different than AI. What AI does, AI recognizes patterns. It's pattern recognition. That's what our ancestors did. We recognize patterns based upon the configuration of the heavenly bodies at specific times of the day. We studied it and passed it from one generation to another. And then through all of that time, they were able to test and confirm and adjust to make it more and more and more accurate. That's all that's happening, y'all. That's it. Okay? AI does the same thing. AI is doing the same thing, pattern recognition, and then coming up with a way to interpret the pattern, to read it. And then that information is used to answer questions. Period. No devils and demons at all. So now let's continue. Again, David knows not how to guide himself and asks a horary question, a yes or no question. See 1 Samuel XXX 7, chapter 30, verse 7, quote unquote. And David said to Abiathar the priest, Amalek's son, I pray thee, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought hither the ephod to David. 8. And David inquired of the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Yes or no, right? That's the answer, yes or no, horary question. Shall I overtake them? Yes or no, right? Horary question. And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. Okay? Excuse me. All right, so this is associated with the planetary hours that we discussed in the last 2 classes ago. Planetary hours, and then the length of a planetary hour. Okay, and then how to use horary questions, etc., etc. But we're going to get into this as we go. But the technical stuff, meaning the practical stuff, things that you can use, I'm going to put this stuff on these videos on Patreon. Okay, y'all? After Saul, in his anger, had killed all the priests and mediums, or those that divine, those that use what? Those who could look at the heavenly bodies and read them. Read them, meaning they could tell through what they see the magnetic effects that the heavenly bodies would exert on a situation. Okay? He had no more, and by the way, I'm sure most people watching this video don't have a clue how that's determined. All right? But it's not determined through prayer. And it's not determined through asking a god or a devil. It's determined by knowledge. Knowledge of the attributes, etc., that has been passed down over large amounts of time. And this is our heritage. No different than geometry is our heritage. Okay, no different than chemistry is our heritage. No different than linguistics is our heritage. And many of y'all can't much read. But yet you're not saying it's devil worship just because you don't know how to read or your reading comprehension is poor. You're not saying it's devil worship, are you? No, why? Because you're familiar with it. This science has been successfully hidden from you and then given a bad name so that you will run away from it. Okay? I. Stevens, right. Good morning, brethren. Good morning, I. Stephen. Good to see you back. All right, y'all? So they've taken something good from us. Something that can help us, empower us. All right? So after Saul in his anger had killed all the priests and mediums, or those that divine. Okay, so the priests, we just saw the priests were divining, right? Abathar. So priests, mediums, diviners or diviners, these are used, these are synonyms. They have the same meaning. Okay? A priest is a diviner, is a seer. We went through that, is a medium. He had no more anyone to apply to, and he failed to get any answer from the Lord personally. Okay, so obviously he didn't have the skills. His comprehension of the topic was limited. Okay? That's what it's saying. So he needed someone who was a master to help him. Why? Because he had limited competency. Same way we might need an electrician, right? Or we might need a plumber. Some things we can do, but you know, the other stuff we can't do. We need to go hire a master. All right? So, see 1 Samuel XX V I verse 3. See 1 Samuel 28 verse 3. Quote unquote. Now Samuel was dead, and Saul had put away those that have familiar spirits. These are mediums. And the wizards out of the land. 5. And when Saul saw the hosts of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. So I know the Hebrew Israelites and the Christians, y'all looking at wizards, right? And you're thinking, oh, that's the devil, right? So witches and wizards, and that's the devil. Well, remember, look these words up in multiple languages. Why? Because that's the only way you're going to get an accurate understanding of the text. For example, Solomon. If you look up Solomon in, let's say, a Hebrew lexicon, you're not going to get the information on Sol, and Un. That word Solomon, that name, is constructed of 3 words from 3 different languages, each meaning sun, sun. You're not going to get that. And if you were to get that, that would change your whole understanding and lead you into different research directions. It would change your whole understanding of what Solomon is. It would take you right into astrology. So they're not telling you that in these Hebrew lexicons. All right? So witch, wizard, what are you talking about? A wise man or a wise woman. But in your mind, you've been conditioned to believe that a wizard is somebody who's dealing with evil spirits. Who's dealing with evil spirits. But in history, in real life, these were people who what? They knew about herbology. Y'all would have to say Dr. Sebi, the beloved Dr. Sebi. Y'all have to call him a wizard. If he was a woman, y'all have to call him a witch. Why? He's dealing with herbs. He's dealing with our culture. Huh? People who are dealing with mathematics, geometry, anatomy, physiology. Oh, you may as well call them a wizard too. Any inventor, any innovator, any creator, you have to call him a wizard too. All right? So let's get out of the religious frame of mind. Okay? So look these words up in different languages. You can look it up in Latin. You can look it up in Greek. Of course, look it up in English if that's what you're speaking. Or Spanish if that's what you're speaking. Look it up in Sanskrit. All right? Etc. Look it up if you can. Find out what the Hermetic word is. Okay? Find out its meaning. Find out how that word was constructed. And that's one of the great things about this topic, about astrology. You can find out a lot about the words, about word morphology, especially in the Devil's Pulpit, which goes in real heavy on etymology. All right? So 5. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, getting into astrology, nor by prophets. Now, y'all, some of y'all might say, oh, dreams, that's spiritism. No, it's not. No, it's not. We dream naturally. We dream naturally. And if you practice, if you develop your faculty of visualization, your life would change. That's a faculty of mind that we have, but that we don't use. Or if we're using it, we don't use it intentionally, and it's poorly developed. Huh? Yes. Yes, that's a natural faculty of mind that if you develop it, you can use it. I give y'all my favorite. My favorite is the silver method. Okay? It's nothing to do with devils and demons. It's all about building through practice your ability to visualize. And visualize the things that you want. Nothing to do with any devils or religion. The same way you write down your action steps, whatever it is you want to do, or some of y'all sit there watch TV all day. All right, you sit there, you watch TV. So is that devil worship because you watching TV? Well, that's probably one of the worst things you can do. Why? Because you're being programmed by what you're watching. Okay, you got somebody else influencing your mind. But to practice the art of visualization, and you're going to say that's of the devil? And to remember your dreams and to have the intent to dream about something? Come on, y'all. We got to get out of the religion. We got to get out of the superstition. Radicals, right. They may have a good quality castor oil there in Vietnam. Silver method. Yes, silver method. Yeah, the silver method. You can find the audio book on YouTube. The silver method. Radicals, right. I watch Yasapa TV on YouTube. Thanks, Radicals. All right, y'all. So we got to let go of this superstition and develop our minds. We have faculties of mind that are dormant, atrophy, because we've been taught that to use them or to express them or to do anything like that is of the devil. I, Stephen Wright, by power of thought, God spoke the word and the universe burst into existence. Absolutely. That's the first Hermetic law. Mentalism, all is mind. So if all is mind, all has its origin from thought. Everything has its origin from thought. Okay? And we think primarily in images, although we may not be aware of it. So one who dreams, okay, well, you remember your dreams, right? You can have the intent to dream about something. All right? And remember, there's nothing new under the sun. So all the information is there. It's just you accessing it. It's just you accessing it. So you can access it through your dream. It's already there. Right? Then Saul said unto his servants, seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. Then it further describes his calling on the woman. This woman was a medium. At Endor. And he conversed through her with Samuel. Y'all see that? Samuel, L, S-A-M-U. Samuel hyphen L. All right? And maybe that U does not even belong there. It could just be Sam. Sam space L. Everybody see that? Sam space L. That medium and those who have familiar spirits were in common consultation in the time of Moses. See Leviticus XX 6. See Leviticus 20 verse 6, quote unquote. And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits and after wizards, etc. Okay, verse 27, quote unquote. A man also or a woman that hath a familiar spirit or that is a wizard, etc. Deuteronomy X, V, I, verse 10. Deuteronomy 38, verse 10. There shall not be found among you, etc. Okay, now verse 11, quote unquote, a consulter with familiar spirits, etc. Okay, so he established that. All right, so these mediums, familiar spirits, were around during Moses' day. And in Deuteronomy X, V, I, verse 21, Deuteronomy 38, verse 21, quote unquote. And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord have not spoken? Verse 22, when a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, That is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken. But the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously. Okay, now let's go back to the text. The priest did pervert astrology. See Jeremiah V, verse 31. See Jeremiah 5, verse 31, quote unquote. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. In other words, it's about money and power. All right, about money and power. And they're lying. Hold on. Okay, y'all? Now let's continue. As the art of correctly judging astrology is based entirely on belief in the Almighty. Well, do y'all remember what the Almighty is? That's all. Do y'all remember? We went through it a couple chapters ago. This meaning of Almighty. Y'all remember? So let's continue. It's based entirely on the belief in the Almighty. So idolatry perverted knowledge. So wait a minute. The Almighty and astrology is being spoken of as knowledge. Okay? So idolatry perverted knowledge. What is idolatry? We are worshiping these external deities. And the people turn to nonsensical means of divining. In other words, instead of reading the heavenly bodies, they were trying to get the information that they're supposed to get from reading the magnetic signatures from the heavenly bodies. They were trying to get it from idols. Y'all see that? They're trying to get it from idols. Quote unquote. This is page 104. For the king of Babylon stood at the parting of the way, at the head of the two ways to use divination. He made his arrows bright. He consulted with images. He looked in the liver. Okay? There you have it. No, you're supposed to read the magnetic signature, the patterns of the heavenly bodies. Dorb L writes, medium backwards produces the word modem. Wow. So the modem is between your device and the source of the information, right? So the information is coming, has got to go through your modem before it can get to you, medium. Thanks, Dorvell, appreciate that. Does everyone see what happened here? Dorvell writes an interface. Thank you, Dorvell. So do y'all see that? The idolatry is, that's like me trying to read the coconut. Okay, it's a perversion. No, I'm supposed to read the magnetic signatures of the heavenly bodies. I'm not supposed to go ask a coconut or go look in some animal's liver. That's a perversion. Everybody see it? This is a perversion of the science of astrology. Okay, but that's what people started doing. So in order for them to have success doing that, they had to make the people ignorant so that the people wouldn't know any better, or they had to come up with some lies. Maybe put the people in a state of fear so that they would believe the lies. Same thing that's happening today. Same thing that happens in religion. Got you scared to death. And now they can easily lie to you, and you're going to believe them because they put themselves in a position of authority, right? They're the medium or the modem between you and this God. Okay, y'all? Anyway, let's keep going. That astrology or foretelling of the future is right, or so considered by the sons of Israel. See Tobit, XII, verse 7. See Tobit, chapter 12, verse 7. Quote, "It is good to keep close the secret of a king." Don't tell nobody. "But it is honorable to reveal the works of God." Well, what are the heavenly bodies for? They're for times and seasons, right? Etc. Right? Okay, these are the works of God. Genesis chapter 1. Right? The works of God. Ecclesiasticus XXXIX, Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, verse 1, quote unquote. "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High," to the law of the Most High, not a system of beliefs that changes from one religion to the other, to the law. That has to be natural law, y'all. "And is occupied in the meditation thereof," studying it, "will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients." Let me repeat that. "Will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients and be occupied in prophecies." That's telling you astrology. Dorville writes, "You can blackmail the king knowing his secrets or be treated favorably." Yes. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High," that means you are following the Most High's commandments. All right? The commandments are natural law. Prove it wrong. "And is occupied in the meditation thereof." Okay? So you study it. "Will seek out," meaning that your study will guide you to, "will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients." Your study will guide you to reclaim the science, the geometry, the astrology, the astronomy, the chemistry of all the ancients. Y'all gonna tell me astrology is not ancient? Y'all, is that what y'all saying? Are y'all telling me that astrotheology is not ancient? "And be occupied," so you're following the Most High's commandments, you're going to be occupied in prophecies. Occupied in prophecies, that means you're going to be using astrology. You're going to be using the science of magnetism, the science of electromagnetism, the science of reading the configuration or the magnetic signatures in the heavens and then harnessing and using that information, okay, to achieve your goals and objectives in life, also those of your nation and the empire. Period. Okay? Now, that was Tobit, chapter 12, verse 7. Now, I'm sorry, no it wasn't. That was Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39, verse 1. Verse 2 reads, "He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables." So he's going to be competent. 8, verse 8. He shall shew forth that which he hath learned, and shall glory in the law of the covenant of the Lord. He's going to talk about and openly use this science. He's going to shew forth that which he has learned, and shall glory in the law of the covenant of the Lord. Y'all hear that? All right? He's going to glory in it. Okay? In other words, he's going to shine. And that shine is going to be based upon what? Well, we know there are two covenants, right? There's a covenant of labor and there's a covenant of grace. The spring equinox, March 22nd, covenant of work, covenant of labor. And then there's what? The covenant of grace, September 22nd. All right? The equinoctial points. And you're going to glory in that. 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night. And by the way, y'all, the equinoctial points govern the planetary hours and how we determine them. And also the length of the planetary hours, all right, that we use to achieve our goals, to embed cosmic energy into the achievement of our goals. So you're going to glory in that. It's going to shine. You're going to shine using it, okay? 1 Corinthians XIV, verse 1. 1 Corinthians 14, verse 1, quote unquote. Follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts, but rather ye may prophesy. Y'all hear that? You're better off learning astrology. That's better. That's better than charity. And that's better than desiring spiritual gifts. Well, that's obvious, right? Why? Well, it's better that you be self-sufficient, independent. You can look at the magnetic configuration of the heavens and then you harness and use that information. Okay? And you won't need the charity. Or somebody else won't need the charity. Why? Because you're harnessing free cosmic energy and using it, so they don't have a need for charity because you're using the available cosmic energy. Okay, y'all? This is what it said. You don't have to worry about spiritual gifts. Why? Because you can use the cosmic energy. That's much better. Better to be self-sufficient. All of you are gods. Sons of the Most High, Psalms 82:6. So this is part of your expression of being a quote-unquote God. For greater is he that prophesieth than he that speaketh with tongues. Y'all see that? Greater is he that can read the configuration and magnetic effects of the heavenly bodies than him who can speak in tongues. So this is the pinnacle. Astrology is the pinnacle. All right? Verse 30. Quote unquote. If anything be revealed to another that sitteth by, let the first hold his peace. For ye may all prophesy one by one, that all may learn, and all may be comforted. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Dorville writes, the church tell you that tongues is more important. Absolutely. Absolutely. So they are openly engaged in a conspiracy to keep you away from astrology, to keep you away from learning about magnetism and electromagnetism. Y'all know in this chapter, listen to the title, y'all, of prophets or seers, mediums, Notice this, y'all. And magnetic healers. And magnetic healers. So if you can heal yourself, what do you need that preacher for? What do you need that priest for if you can heal yourself? If you can harness the cosmic magnetic energy and use it to heal yourself, to heal someone else, to alleviate poverty, so you don't need no charity, you don't need any spiritual gifts. Well, what do you need this middleman, priest for, who's demanding a tithe, a percentage of your income, your monthly income from your labor? What do you need him for? Y'all see why they don't want you to know about magnetism? And you'll always be out of harmony with nature. You'll always be going against the current, okay? And nature will punish you. Why? Because you're not following the Most High's commandments. All right, y'all, hope everybody sees that. Many dissertations about the Jewish, that's religion, origin, distinguish the religion from the nation, the bloodline. Many dissertations about the Jewish origin have been written and many surmises made. Had the apocryphal books, the apocryphal books of the Old Testament never been taken from the Bible. Oh, so this is why they took out the apocryphal books from the Bible. Had the apocryphal books of the Old Testament never been taken out of the Bible, the key to what are now many mysteries would have been easily discerned. In other words, they took them out so that they can have you confused. Have you confused. All right, and these mysteries you would never know. I quoted from the 5th chapter of the book of Judith. Judith 5 verse 3, quote unquote. And he, that is Holofernes, said unto them, tell me now, ye son of Canaan, who this people is that dwelleth in the hill country. Isn't that a reference to Sagittarius, y'all? Okay. Then verse 5, page 105. Then said Achor, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, A-M-M-O-N, Amun, Amen, Amen, Amin, however you Hebrew Israelites want to pronounce it. It's still Amen, Amen-Ra, Amen, Amun. Ain't no different. I, Stephen, writes, the church of today is the woman riding the beast. She wants your lust, but paying her bills with diligence. Okay, so now we're dealing with Amun. Amun, Aman, A-M-U-N. Okay, and the Hebrew Israelites will tell you, oh, we say amen after our prayer, but that's not the Raphaim or whoever this Amun is, this deity, right? Let my Lord now hear a word from the mouth of thy servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people. This people are descendant of the Chaldeans. Talking about Canaan. They left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God, they perverted astrology, of heaven. The God whom they knew, they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. Okay, y'all? Everybody see what's happening here? 9. Then their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned and to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt and where they increased with gold and silver and with very much cattle. But when a famine covered the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt and sojourned there, while they were nourished and became a great multitude. The king of Egypt rose up against them and dwelt subtly with them, and brought them low with laboring and brick, and made them slaves. Back to the paragraph. Then comes a description of their persecutions and deliverance from Egypt and return to Palestine, or the hill country. Okay, Abraham, as Joseph writes, came from the east and carried the science of astrology to Egypt. Now, Hebrew Israelites will always bring that up. I got to go, y'all. Islam to all the Moors. Thanks, y'all, for y'all support, for showing up here. Thank you for buying my book, subscribing to the one-on-one Ancient Ibaryath class, and everything. Much appreciated. Dorabelle writes, I'm on Jupiter. They dropped the Jupiter. Yes. See, y'all, no matter which way you cut this, when you start researching and looking into this, you see, or you become introduced to astrotheology in both the Old and the New Testament. And that's not a bad thing, right? Remember, it's been remixed into a religion. Jeremiah 8, verse 8. Natural law has been remixed into a religion. And it's our duty, our obligation to remove the religion and restore the nature and natural science. That's why I'm doing the project to write the book of the law in modern English and ancient Ibaryath, and to restore the astronomy, astrology, the Hermetic Laws / principles, and the constitutional principles that are derived from nature. Okay, y'all, that's our duty. We cannot rely on the religious community, be they Jewish or Christian. It's our responsibility as autochthonous men and women. In law, we are called Moors. Go look up land. Go look up land in a law dictionary. You will see Moors. And land is the substance and subject matter of the law. That's a well-established principle in law. I. Stevens write, Abraham was from Ur of the Chaldeans. Absolutely. Okay, y'all. Thanks very much. I gotta go. My class starts in a couple minutes. Islam to all the Moors. Assalamu alaikum and shalom. I'll be back in a few hours.